is heavy tonight, in a realm where the sun fades behind the fight. Every scar is a story, every tear is a flame. In this game of survival, nothing stays the same. We break, we fall, but we rise again. Through shattered hopes and the cries of men. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. The road is long, the nights are cold, but the dreams I carry burn like gold. In the chaos, I found my place, a spark of hope in the empty space. We've lost so much, we've given more, but through the trials we'll restore. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. Every fall, we learn to stand. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. Make it somehow. Make it somehow.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Pax Dei Search for Steel. I am in the midst of a technical glitch, so bear with me. It seems that my microphone wants to marry my face, so I'm going to have to adjust it. Give me just a moment as you take in the scenery of Pax Dei. I have no idea what this is doing this tonight. Set up beforehand, now not so much. Very weird. Very unusual. I'm curious why it's doing it, but then again, mechanical engineering. Why does anything do anything? You know that it should be properly fitted. I think I have an idea. Unfortunately, I don't think you can fix that. The limited time I have, because I want to start the show. I guess even good podcasts can give you the business when it has to do with equipment failures. I think I have a solution, but give me a moment. I think I'm still on, so technical difficulties. Please stand by. Just can't believe how much of a technical difficulty this is. Usually it's not that bad. Not sure why it decided to act up tonight. I had it set this morning, right? Or, well, this afternoon, I should say. It's still... What's happening is the actual boom is coming into my face, so I can't really talk if the boom is going to keep going past my mouth like this. I suppose I can do that, maybe? I don't know. So I figure out what's going on. I have an idea, so give me one more moment. If I have the right equipment. I am forging a mechanical fix. As for podcasting, well, we got an interesting show for you tonight. I gotta say that. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool stuff. One of the things is we have an update, and it's called the Grace System. So the Grace System basically is a miracle system that's outside the normal venue or the normal system that they've had so far with magic and such. The Grace System's more like a miracle god system, like a cleric system. And I'll put that up on the screen real quick. Here we go. All right, so I enter it with T, the letter T on your keyboard. So that is the beginning. And then as you can see, you mouse over the radial in order to choose the type you want. Now, the title bar says General Crafting and Gathering. That is a true statement. Let's see if that worked. Nope, still doing it. That is the weirdest thing. I know what is doing it, I just can't, for whatever reason, it is getting annoying. All right, so yeah. How many other people have experienced in podcast technical issues? Maybe you should have a screen that says technical issues. Please stand by. All right, this is my last attempt, and then we're gonna try to have to figure something out. That is the weirdest thing. It was all set. Ah, so annoying. I know why it's doing it, but I can't. It's not. There's a lip on it on the bottom to give a torque to the screw that the mount is attached to. Unfortunately, the screw, or I should say the flaring on the screw, is not working as advertised, and it keeps retreating past a point where the entire mounting structure is not a square, and I am giving you way too much information on this. Let's hope. This is just not going to work tonight. Awesome. All right, well, I'll try my best tonight. It seems like it's going past me, so yay. Why is it doing that, though? That's so annoying. I'm wondering if I can counterbalance. Nope. Not a counterbalance problem. Not that issue. And this is just going to be very annoying to the point I'm not going to be able to cast because it is not doing what it should be doing. We will continue. It's funny because if you saw what I'm doing, I think everybody would laugh. But yeah. I'm trying to figure out a good position for this as well. Because maybe there's a flaw in my table. Who knows? I'm going to call that flaw in the table. That's exactly what's going on. It's not my flaw. Not my flaw at all. Oh, we got some new music coming out. I do want to put that. Murmurs of Desire on X and YouTube are doing really well. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly advise going over there and checking it out. It's a really good song, I thought. The video was okay. I wouldn't say it's great. Trying to get AI to do your bidding on prompting is very interesting, to say the least. Wow, this thing is just not gonna do it tonight. It just doesn't want to play fair. Usually, if I shimmery, it behaves itself, but tonight it's not doing that. Try that. Nope. It's better though. So we're gonna continue the podcast, even though this thing is just gonna move on me. How do I sound tonight? Good. Let's see. We will do the advanced properties and see if I'm still broadcasting. Good. All right. Well, with all that mess behind us, let's continue. So this is the grace system. So the grace system updated, I think it was the 23rd of January. So not too yesterday. Not too bad. General, crafting, and gather. And then you have Z and C. That just flips you keyboard-wise through the menu selections. General is what you had before. It gets you to Petrame, which is your home stone, which in this case would be my in Gale. Then we have summon the body, and we have summon a friend's body. So you're free on each one of these. Everything else will cost a amount of brace. Now, when you go to crafting gives you minor blessings, and they're going to have major blessings and even miracles, as they call them. The minor blessings give you a +1 to your skill. So if I'm at 24, I'll have a 25 when I'm crafting. So that formulates into the that number being from, like, say 24 or 25 gives me a better chance of yield even with the difficulty. So for example, when I mean even with the difficulty, if you have a moderate chance to produce something, your level will play a chance at your success, meaning level 24 moderate is different than level 25 moderate, but they're both moderate, but you get a little slightly better chance to produce it. And of course we have alchemy, baking, carpentry, cooking and charcuterie, jewelry, tailoring, winemaking and brewing, armor and blacksmithing, weapon and blacksmithing, and leatherworking and fletching. Not sure why they put those two together, but that's fine. And each one, as you can see, the cast cost is 10. I have 30 currently in my bank, and gathering, which we'll be using tonight, costs 20. So gathering is forage yields, skinning yields, woodcutting yields, and mining yields. And the yield increase will show on the amount gathered. So for this, let's go mining, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I'll pray just before. Whoa, boy, yeah, dying at this point. Horrible. All right, let's grab some of the food before I go. I won't be trying to get into combat, but since grace costs money, and let me show you that real quick as well. Here we go. And replenish real quick. Here we go. I gotta bring this stuff up. I put my farmhouse cider all the way back here for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe I just use grapes. I don't know. There we go. Alright. Go get our mining tools. I'm already in my adventuring garb. I'll take that. I will take that. And I will take this one. Do I need anything else? I guess I'll take some type of defensive weapon. Yeah, I guess I'll take the spear. No, actually, yeah, the spear. Anyway, the other menu that you have from here is get more grace. So what is grace? It's an ethereal account-bound currency. Grace represents the God-given power to perform miracles for yourself or those you care about. Miracles are grant powerful abilities, bonuses, and utility. There are some items that allow you to distribute grace spells. You can access the miracle menu by using the T key, right? Accessible in only accessible in world. How do you obtain it? Every day you get a bonus. You get a 10. I think it's 30. Your presence channels grace into your essence, your soul. So they're playing up the RPG, which is awesome. Additionally, you can perform offerings in the grace menu to sacrifice some of your treasure and thereby earn additional grace. So when you look at the grace menu over here, that's what I did. So I can select a node to perform the offer to gain the grace. This node is 10 grace and it'll cost me 5 gold. If I go here, 20 grace will be 15 gold. Notice how I can't select the 10 gold twice. You will, and this clock represents each node represents a different amount of grace. And the more I use in a day, the higher price. Like all of this would be unavailable to me after I purchase it. It would cost me 6,000 gold. But point is, each subsequent offering requires you to use the next level. For example, if I offer 5, I get the grace, right? Notice how this is no longer available to me. If I go to here, 10, the offer is 10. So I can do 10 increment, or I jump to 20 increments of 20, or increments of 50. So if I increment to 20, 30 gold for 20 more. So if I hit it, I'm establishing grace. You don't lose grace between days, so don't worry about that. But my next offering has to be 35 for 10. So it increases as you go up. And notice I'm only at 1,400 gold in the lower right-hand corner here, and 60 grace. So if I look at my grace tree again, I have 60 grace in the bank. If I use it for gathering, in this case, I'll use it for mining. I'll use 20 of that. So I can use 3 graces. Graces last an hour. So I don't want to use the grace until I actually arrive at the location. So what does this do for you? Mostly it's for grinding. I think the devs are looking at this. There's going to be a fast travel as well. So that's kind of cool. And I have notes here somewhere, so I can refer to them. Here we go. Let's see. So we can, as gamers, we can call them buffs, right? This is a minor spell. It lasts 7 seconds, right? This is not a grace. So you notice it says 1 hour and 50 minutes. I crossed a border, so I think they have to adjust the timers when we get across the border. But I'm not getting the benefit of the additional speed or sprinting. I'm getting the eternal sprint. So every time you cross a border, before you cross it, if you hit the shift button and continue to hit the shift button, you will be sprinting. So fast travel, so to speak. It's going to basically impact the gameplay resource management aspect, right? You're not going to spend more time gathering resources, or you're going to be using the grace in order to gather rare resources at a greater amount each time. And you have an hour. A lot of the rare resources are very far away from each other, so an hour is not a lot of time. All right, so it's going, be careful, be patient. Let's see, what else they did a lot of stuff. So that's grace. Any questions on grace by any chance? So if you have any, put them in the comment section or the chat section. I'm hoping nobody got down here yet.
With grace, the resources shouldn't be as scarce as well. If I were to forage, I would forage in grace, and I would forage for the rye, right? But I'm not doing that. What I want to do is I want to hit T, go to gathering, hit the mic. You can cancel out of this before it takes effect, but obviously I want it to. All right, so let's see. There's the ×2 iron from the blessing, so I got 3 iron, right? So as you see with that one, I got 10 total from 1 rock. Not bad. That's what I'm looking for, is the main material. I don't care about the sand, honestly. And notice the blessing is the one that's gaining 1 here, 1 there, 3 here, 5. And that's the huge advantage of the blessing. Because right now I almost have 2 stacks, and I've only done 3, right? And that's not. If I didn't have the blessing, that wouldn't be the case. So use it at your discretion. And let me. All right, and by the way, we're going to understand the philosophy behind laws and justice in this episode, and how laws impact citizens and how they can be changed. And then we're going to draw a parallel between Pax Dei's governance and real-world legal systems. So the question tonight is, what are your thoughts on the latest Pax Dei changes? We're going to get into a few bug fixes as well right now. And let's see. Yeah, we have some known issues and bug fixes that are. They had a long list. I'm going to break it down. I'm not going to read this entire list. Go to the patch notes in Discord, and you'll find the complete list. The big highlights are in market stalls. They resolved errors with purchases, purchase confirmation, and ghost items. They also improved the UI feedback and button prompts. So the combat improvements, and this is the one we'll test out a little bit later. And there's no combat miracles, because those are usually given to you by equipment. So the NPC behavior, attack mechanics, and animation transitions were all addressed. They also addressed inconsistencies in PvE interactions. What does that mean? Not sure. But we're going to find out tonight. We also have some UI and UX enhancements. They fixed localization fixes, inventory management tweaks. What else did they do? And chat system improvements. The chat system improvement is pretty good. And it will totally it takes it saves your setting. Let's just say it that way. Other than that, I don't see it change too much. We'll get into it. What else is going on? Oh, they are going to add additional miracles, which is going to be great. And I think that is going to be the spring update. I'm not expecting anything else before the spring update. So if you were thinking they'd do something before the spring update, we may be waiting a while. What else is going on? So higher tier blessings and quality of life changes. Quality of life in this game really needs attention. There's certain things that are good, and there's certain things that just need development. Again, early access, we are expecting these little minor hiccups. So, not even hiccups. The game's not finished, right? So there's still they're still designing. So we're hoping to see these in the next patch, which is going to be, I think, around March, or let's just say spring. All right. If there's any questions on that, how do you think the changes will improve the in-game economy with the market? Do you think it'll make a dent in that, or will it change behavior just because? I think with any system, if you don't have I'll say it one way, but it's not meant as a negative. If you have a glitchy system, nobody uses it. If a feature is glitchy, people will be like, "Oh, the feature is okay." If they didn't, if I had it to do over again, or if it was improved or fully functional, it would be great. But currently, we are not at that point. Hopefully, later on, we will be. Like, this UI right here is not showing me my food timers. I think they're okay on the bottom of the screen, but in the inventory, not so much. Oh, gosh, gotta do that. There we go. My mic's covering that part. All right. Well, a little bit of housekeeping done with the Pax Dei, and we'll see as we go through this test run of the blessing for mining, especially. I don't think I'll need an hour, but that's a lot of stacks from this area already, because I didn't used to get this many stacks of iron from here. So with the blessing, as you see all the green highlights showing me what the blessing is giving me, it's not bad. And it seems like I use less stamina as well, which is interesting. And I'm okay with that, sure, because stamina going through this area, you dry up stamina. It's so quick. What else do we got? Yeah, we'll go to the I'll go to the market and show you a little bit there as well. I want to test out the NPC PvE stuff, so I'm hoping to. Well, we'll have enough time. Like I said, I'm not gonna mine for the entire hour, even though I spent the 20 on the blessing. I don't need to. I only need enough iron for where this is really useful, and I did it, I think it was yesterday or last night, I can't remember. I think it was in between my work meetings at night. I went down to the old forest and I used this blessing to test it out, and it worked well, because the pure iron ore that you mine down there, it is so precious. Like, moving around down there, you really should take 1 or 2 people, honestly. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me, 2 or 3 people, because it is tough. Very, very tough down there. Not impossible. I got a lot of it, so every once in a while I'll go down, I'll get some moral as well, which is a mushroom for the bear stew. Luckily, the bear stew only uses 1 mushroom per 5 bear stews, so that's a really good, getting 14 or 15 or even 20, wasting a slot, as I call it, to get the rest is pure iron ore. It just takes about 10 minutes of solid running to get to the pure iron ore. Not a big deal. So let's talk about something came up this well, in real life, right? I've been hearing about a couple different things, especially on law and legal system in the United States. And if you're outside the United States, I'd love to hear about your legal system, so put them in the comments section for sure. The philosophy behind law and justice, I've gone over before, but I want to reiterate a couple things, because what does it mean? What does law mean? Well, it means creating order, fairness, and security. And that's a definition. But let's talk about that definition. We want to create order, fairness, and security, but if we have to legislate politeness or social aspects, we've lost the plot. That's not what a law should be for. For example, I think it was Rand Paul who said, abortion shouldn't be illegal, it should be unthinkable. Well, we could apply that to murder as well. Murder shouldn't be illegal, it should be unthinkable. But we have a law for murder. And we have self-defense laws here in the United States and such things like that, so we mitigate, we try to be fair and just. State really doesn't have any other than the law of moderation. What do I mean by that? When you're looking at the game as far as the moderation or what you're saying in the chat, no matter if it's in the Discord or in the other chat, you want to be you want to be polite. You want to have fun. If you want to be a scallywag or a rogue, do so, but do so with flair. You don't have to be crude. Bandits are crude. If you roleplay a bandit, then you can still, you can still be a polite bandit or a less rude bandit or a witty bandit. That is rude. That just happens to be. But what are the repercussions of you doing anything in that capacity that would be deemed as what's a good word for it? Would be deemed inappropriate. There we go. Well, the laws would dictate that you would no longer be able to play the game. Right? So that would be the law. That would be the rule. Rule and law, right? Are they the same? No. They technically aren't, but we're trying to associate it to Pax Dei. A rule is what's a good word for it? I'm trying to think here. What is a good? A rule is non-punitive. Yeah, not necessarily. Let's call it, there's no enforcement, like actual law enforcement will come to your door, unless you're in England, with something you said, right? Maybe Canada. I don't know. The laws around the world are a little bit different. Whatever is deemed hate speech. And here's what I'm talking about with unthinkable. If you're polite to everybody, because we're here all in this world, in this universe, as we're journeying through this life, right? We're all part of the human race. So everybody, and I say this on this channel all the time, be kind to everybody. Why? Because we're here, we have different challenges. I actually made a song on this, a couple different ones. One of them's really good, but I might put that out as well, because we all have the ability. I'm going to pray for the bear. We all have the ability to be, kind. Well, not you have the ability to be kind, so do so. Laws are there. In-game rules, right? In-game rules and mechanics. If you think about the mechanics of the game, you can't really attack anybody you can't. Not really. You cannot attack anybody in the home valley or in the in a PvE map. Let's just say it that way. And I have to bring up something real quick. Hold don't think I logged on. Okay, thank you. Alright. So, if law means creating order, fairness, and security, the philosophical theories of law, which we went into depth on in an earlier podcast, but I'll briefly cover them here. You have natural law versus positive. Well, what is natural law? Morality-based governance. Aristotle, Aquinas. You might have heard the founding fathers of the United States based our laws off of Judeo-Christian values, right? So there's a, and it's natural law, by the way, and natural law, right? That's what our founding fathers here in the United States decided. Positive law are rules created by society for order. Hobbes and Bentham mention this and go into it in depth. Well, what is a rules created by society for order? Well, that's your culture, right? It shouldn't be it shouldn't be illegal. It should be unthinkable. Well, what is that? That's a positive law, right? You have the social contract, which Locke and Rassenu both had papers on and books on, wrote about and thought about, right? What did they do? Well, how individuals agree to be governed for the mutual benefit. Well, that's how you create a law, right? Which makes sense. And then Pax Dei's guild and community agreements are as social contracts, right? So in Pax Dei, your social contracts within your guild will be how you lead, or how the guild interacts with each member, right? Each member interacts differently, but they have a set of social contracts. They say, you know what, we're not going to curse in this guild. Holy crap! That took a lot less time with the. I didn't want that. That took a lot less time with the gift. Oh my gosh, so much less time. I usually have to go further into the Stoneland, but it looks like I'm pretty much going back. Wow, I wonder if I can do 2 runs. Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it, right? Let's see what benefits can we glean from this. Make sure there's iron ore. Why did I pick up that? One thing I wish you could do is prioritize what materials you can pick up, right? That would be awesome. Another iron. So I might need at least one more. Yeah, I'll need one more rock at least, which is just up here, so it's not too bad. And that took me what, 10 minutes on my gift. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to run back. Luckily, I know where all this stuff is, so I think they worked on the graphics a little bit. If you notice the rye over there, looks a little bit more like rye. I wonder if they did lemongrass so I can actually see it. Yeah, this is far better with the blessing. I'm not gonna have to go near as far. There we go. Let's see if I picked up anything that I shouldn't have. Nope, I am full. Alright, go. Back we go. I know not a shortcut, but I don't have to go all the way down to get it. Look at that. That's yeah, they improved the graphics again. Or that, or I just never took notice of the rye being that color before, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't that color. each little iteration they do clean up the graphics here and there. So even though that wasn't on the bug list, I'm sure it was on the actual patch notes. What I didn't do is I didn't give you all the patch notes. That list was long, so they're doing a lot of work. So kudos to them. Thank you for doing this. You're making the game more enjoyable. It's interesting that I still have that icon. That's all right. Wow. That is a lot of running I'm doing. It's like the last MOT games, I think. If you ever watch that movie, they were running literally everywhere. It's crazy. Every scene was them running. I get it. I mean, if you had to walk this, it'd be painful. I don't know if I can get down it. But let's see. Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So the justice theories, all right, so you have these laws in place. Well, what are your theories of justice? Well, you have retribution and restorative, punishment versus rehabilitation, and how they manifest in your country or in your laws is going to be different. It shouldn't be different, right? Justice is blind. I would say blind, deaf, and mute, hopefully. But to the point, yeah, yes, that's a joke. We want to be able to understand human behavior. For example, if somebody who is morally good and ethically sound gets in trouble, they will have remorse. And I'm talking about trouble that is not nitpicking the law. Why do I say it that way? Well, if somebody does something and you get them on a technicality, that's just petty at that point. Like, you know, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Wow, that gave me all kinds of grace. That's funny. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Because, well, let's try. I'll just drop these off real quick and I'll go back out. Mining graces, it's going to be not less useful, but like I said, I did that in what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's so much better than having to go all the way down to stones and to complete my task. So I'm not mad about it. It's a bonus, right? It's like getting mad at somebody if you're hungry and then they're like, "Hey, we bought a pizza. Is that okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, I want a pizza. I want something else." No, you enjoy the pizza. All right. So we're still going full bore here because I'm gonna do this real quick. There we go. And I'll drop these off right now. So, restorative and retributive. I think there's a place for each. Oh, wow. That's cool. I'll put the rest in there. For now. Like I said, I don't have the... I don't have the time. I have 36 minutes to... I'll check the quarry just to make sure that it didn't regen. If it regen, that'd be awesome. So in Pax Dei, you couldn't really associate this. The societal contract or the social contract is going to be the main tool within a clan or even within a region, right? So retributive might be that you don't sell to that person like ever, or you don't help them ever. That could be retributive. Restorative or rehabilitation or restorative, right? That would be more like, hey, you did this, but you're not. You made a mistake. You seem genuinely sad about it or contrite. I think that's the word. So you would help them in order to bring them back into the fold of society, right? And there's a place for each. And what we don't want to get caught up in, and I think reason would dictate, you don't want to pretend or determine that one is better than the other, therefore the majority, or it's absolute, right? We are punitive, punishment-based legal system. Well, if you start doing that, people may not, some people will not, right, break the laws because they don't want the punishment. And depending on the punishment, how harsh the punishment is, they may look at you and go, okay, so if I do get caught, I'm going to have to fight like mad in order to prevent myself from going to jail. Look at this. All right. That's not bad. We're good. There we go. Let's try this over again. All right. Got an itch. As a matter of fact, the next rock break, we're going to change the topic just a little bit. I'm going to take a non-sponsored sip from my preferred cola, which is Zevia. And I will refresh my vocal cords. Stevia is a 0-calorie, non-sugar based soda. They use the stevia plant, which is very sweet, about 10,000 times sweeter than sugar. So you have to really be very accurate with the proportions to your drink. But Zevia did it, and they have flavors. It's natural flavors, but they have cola, they have ginger ale, they have cream soda, they have grape soda. What else do they have? They have a few different flavors, so it's nice because a refreshing drink at night that's not sugar filled or energy drinks, perfect. Muy bueno. I think that's how you say it. All right, let's see. I'm going to scroll my notes because I do note. I try not to come in here with absolute novice with information, right? I like to be able to actually promote what I teach. All right. So different levels of law. You have the federal, the state, and the local, right? Like I said, we're not going in depth into all of these tonight. We're doing an overview. If you'd like me to go into a little bit more in depth into laws, and I might go more into that societal contract or social contract, because that I think is, and that's why I started the podcast. That's changed the culture by giving or providing information and a place where you can ask questions in order to learn, in order to reason, to critically think, so we don't just mindlessly say, or lazily, right? We all have that lazy streak in us. Somebody said something. Yeah, I believe it. But we didn't do any research. I still, right? So there are different things that this podcast will hopefully help you with, and I'll make myself available. Remember, I have a LinkedIn channel, I have an X channel, or X account, and of course this podcast on YouTube. You can get in contact with me and ask me questions. Maybe read my articles on LinkedIn. I have fun with YouTube, except for this channel. But I have a music station that I'm just starting out that's doing AI videos, and AI is assisting me with the music, but I'm changing the words and to a moderate degree, and I am creating the AI video from prompts, right? So I'm basically producing and directing, and I'm creating, but Suno AI, who else? Kling AI, Runway ML, and Sora are also helping me, right? All right. Federal law. We have in the United States, we have constitutional rights. We have government agencies. I just realized my stamina is really low. Let's take that real quick. That'll help. So we have constitutional rights, government agencies, and national policies. Well, why are they saying, or why am I bringing up government agencies? Regulations aren't law. I want to be very clear on that. Regulations have the force of the law, but they're not voted on by the body that I voted in, or the person I voted in to represent me at the federal level. So regulations are a little bit different, but they're not law per se. They are law in weight. In the chat, or in the comments section, let me know what you think about that, because it's been a topic here for almost a year now. I mean, really in the mainstream, that the regulatory bodies in the United States are just making up stuff, when Congress, the U.S. Congress, which makes up the Senate and the House in the United States, they're the ones who craft, create, and pass the law. The president is just there to sign it if he wants to, or they don't, or they don't have to. And if they do sign it, and somebody and a citizen brings suit, or a company brings suit against the law, then the Supreme Court can listen to it and make a determination whether it is in the bounds of the Constitution. In the United States, the Constitution is the law of the land. So if anything countermands that law, then it is considered null and void, and the Congress has to go back to the drawing board in order to craft the law that they first passed to be more constitutional. All right. And we have some guarantees in the Constitution. The Bill of Rights guarantee is written for to secure the rights of the individuals in the states, technically. All right. Let's see, what else do we got? So, examples of federal law: tax law, interstate commerce regulations. Again, regulations are, I'm stretching to call them law. Really. State law. So, how state governments create unique laws for their citizens. Well, one of the things that we as citizens have to learn is the federal government shouldn't be involved in state affairs. Well, why? I have 50, in the United States, we have 50 states. And I think it's 4 protectorates. But the states are the ones who craft the laws and vote on them. So if I'm creating a state law, why should Massachusetts, another state, just say, another state, dictate to me what law I need to create in my state, right? Oh, really? I thought I'd have a straight. I don't think I can defeat those guys with just this spear I have. And I have no heat reductions. Yeah, those guys do me a little bit of damage here. That's kind of cool that the ore from the quarry is there. Let's see if the ore didn't appear over here either. So, unfortunately, I think I'm at the end of my production because I don't know if I'll find something in 20 minutes. Well, maybe. You know what? We got magic. Let's do it. There we go. We continue. All right, so that's basically how citizens of the United States, and if anybody's listening overseas, that's how we create laws. Federal, states, local, they're all individual. Now, each level, the federal laws will trump the state laws. However, there are certain conditions where the state law will trump the federal. Local and city, county, the same. That's the same thing. What trumps everything is the U.S. Constitution. There's no, and the states have constitutions as well. So any state law that goes against the Constitution of the state, which is a little bit more customized to the state, instead, because the U.S. Constitution is a big, broad document for all 50 states or any state that joins the Union. So each state has their own constitution. A lot of people forget about that. And it's unfortunate because they go, oh, this is against the U.S. Constitution. Well, it also may be against the state constitution. So check that as well. Because you may not have to go to the federal government every time to help you out with law or what's a good word? Recompense? No. No, not restitution. Resolution, maybe. Alright. There's an R word here that I'm missing. Alright, anyway. So, examples are differences in state taxation and differences in healthcare and internet policy, right? Internet law. For example, Texas, I think, just passed a law that said that illicit sites, we'll just say that, porn sites needed to have an age. You had to have an age prompt at a minimum. Some states have a license. You have to enter your driver's license to prove you're 21. Not a perfect solution for that subject, but maybe we'll talk about that subject in another cast, because it is getting to be a big topic around these parts, and I think it's valuable for everybody to understand, and for those of you who are suffering, because yeah, I would describe it that way. All right, so we have local and county laws, right? I know where the ore is. I just can't go into the aggro box of that bear. Can I take the bear? Yes. Do I have the tool to take the bear? Yes. Do I want to take the time? That's the key. Because I only have a certain amount of time with this blessing. And I think it's at one. Okay. So we have city ordinances, zoning laws, and those are going to be at the local city and county. Well, in Pax Dei, you would probably do clan laws, and since nobody can really dictate or settlement laws, right? Basically, you wouldn't be able to um, what's a good word for it? You wouldn't be able to dictate to anybody in the game, even if they broke a rule. What are you gonna do? At worst, you can tell a moderator, but it's you don't want to kick somebody off for just breaking a made-up law within the home valley. Pax Day, I don't think laws really apply other than the societals, right? There are that I think the societal contracts are definitely one of those things that would be applicable. All right, let's see. Laws impact on everyday life. Let's get to that subject. How legislation shapes personal freedoms and business operations and economic opportunities. Let's answer it. Business operations. There's a law. I forget what it was drafted as in California that basically said that there can be no contract work anymore. Which California does that blew my mind, since most of the people in that state do contract work. For example, an actor could have a contract for a certain period of time to do a movie, but in California's law, and I don't know the actors guild state regulations, but I'm just trying to put an example of contract. The contract itself would be would be legal, or the company would have to treat that contractor as a business or as an employee. So that's the weird kind of laws that would really kill local level, right? Or businesses, business operations in OSHA. There's certain OSHA regulations that have to be adhered to, right? Or the company gets fined per offense, right? Or IDA, IATA, right? The IDA is it's an international act the United States levied on tech companies in order for the tech companies to, or ITAR, excuse me, IDA is a different one. There's so many, and that's why companies have general counsels. So how do they shape the company's behaviors is changed, right? The company will do something differently based off of the law they have to comply with. Same with people, right? Most people are like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to do it this way. Well, why are they doing it, quote unquote, this way? Because they wanted to, they're most people are law-abiding citizens, right? I just saw more of these. Let's see if I can get there. They're right by. Oh, no, that's a bear. It's not a bird. Let's see if I can get past them. I got 16 minutes on this thing. Let's use it. If I can get 2 rounds with this, it's pretty good. So, economic opportunities. Different laws are going to promote different avenues of entrepreneurship, where the avenues of economic growth are going to change based on the availability of that economic growth, right? All right, let's see. I think there's some over here. I pretty much got these mapped out, which is good. But, let's see. There's no laws really in Pax Day, nor the ability to to execute on them, so I'm not going to associate any of that with that subject. Changing laws, federal to local, right? And this is where we get into the meat of the conversation, because what happens with laws that are no longer used or prosecuted? We've all heard those stories about crazy laws, right? I think one of the examples is you can't bake a pie and put it on your windowsill to cool in a town up in Massachusetts or somewhere up there. Well, why? Well, more than likely they didn't want wild animals coming into town like bears or wolves who smell the pie, right? And that makes sense, and that's very very distinct to the locale, right? Because that's a local law; it's not a state law or federal law. So how do we change the law? Well, at the federal level, you have bills, committees, lobbying, and the presidential influence. You have and we can. It's very contentious on the lobbies, right? Lobbying committees in Congress, they hold a lot of power, right? And they can crush small business and prop up larger business. For example, the minimum what is it, the minimum wage, right? If Congress gets involved and raises or lowers the minimum wage, they're going to affect commerce, right? They're going to affect the behavior of companies. Well, how are they doing? Well, one way they're doing that, and I just realized there's no other metal this way, so I'm going to have to go this way. How are they doing that? Well, they're doing that, and it might be well intended. The intent might be very, what they think is a good deed, but it affects different people differently, or different organizations differently, and you can theoretically lose small businesses if you raise the minimum wage. The larger businesses will be able to absorb the costs, at least for a short period of time, until they can find ways to lower their operating costs, which means there's many ways you can do this, right? You can lower the quality of your product or the products that you're buying. You can look for the cheapest vendor versus a vendor that's not as cheap. And those are all aspects to the to the unintended consequence, right? But bills, committees, lobbying, the bills, and anybody who in the United States, for those of you who are out of the United States, a bill needs to come from the House. It starts in the House. You may hear on the news that the Senate bill, it passed the Senate, now it goes to the House. Well, yeah, they can draft it, but it has to go to the House, and the House has to agree to it, and then it goes back to the Senate, and the Senate more than likely will pass it because they passed it the first time, but it has to be a House bill, and then it goes to the Senate, and then from the Senate it goes to the President's desk. So how do you change federal law? Well, the most powerful thing is to lobby, spend money, right? And that's unfortunate, because we do talk about oligarchs, right? And we talk about businesses buying different access, and that's not wholly untrue, and it's not illegal to do so. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. There are certain legalizations that allow access to the people making the law. Just realized. Trying to see if there's any. Wow, that's a bad place to be for trying to figure out whether or not You got everything. I'm glad that was a lot farther. Let's go this way. Is that cooldown like really faster than I? Usually it's like a 3-minute cooldown or a 2-minute cooldown. It's a 7-second sprint. So to get away from something, 7 seconds without using stamina that's a lot. And if I go to the old area this weekend as we move into the podcast weekends where I can do the podcast, I'll show you the old forest and the challenges down there. I didn't even realize I was still on that button. That's all right. All right, let's see. Let's state and local levels. You have state legislatures, referendums, and community influence on policies. Local advocacy can impact public policy. So this is why a lot of people say get it done in your city, state, or city and county, right? Because you, as the individual, have a lot more influence on your senator or congressman or your city representative than you would with your federal level. In the United States, a federal congressman, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think one congressman represents 750,000 people. And if you're one voice in that 750,000 people, there's no way. They could get they probably get hundreds or thousands of suggestions or mail per day, right? And when we're talking about that, in that way, your local level, county level is so much easier to change. However, sometimes it's corrupt, right? So we have to be wary of that as well. Okay. All right. I will accept that, even though my cooldown says 0. Oh, don't tell me this is already. Really? All right. Let's do it. I have 8 minutes left on this race blessing. It should be a blessing. I think that's what we would call it anyway. Let's get that stamina back up quicker. Go juice. Call it my Gatorade. Alright, so depending on where you are and what level of government you are trying to influence, well, what are your options? Well, here are a few options anyway. I was just checking to see if I'm done. I am done. Oh, look at that durability is almost gone. You know what? I'm going to get the most out of this. Where's that iron going? I do not know. There's way too much iron here, but that's okay. I need it. I'm going to try to get my blacksmithing up, and I think I need another 800,000 or something like that. There's gonna be a lot of forging. Alright, I don't have to waste my attention on that. And I don't think I have anything that I want to get rid of, so we're capacity full. 20, 20, come through. Okay. We are good then. That was a successful run. 6 minutes left. All right. So you can do grassroots movements for sure. That's protests, petitions, social media activism. Basically, historical changes would be influenced by public opinion or public pressure. I think social media is probably the biggest pressure point for an individual citizen that can't afford lobbying or voters or what have you. You can call your congressman, you can write the paper, and you can attempt to influence directly. You might not be able to do it unless it goes, goes grassroots and catches fire on social media. Well, what else do we have? We have voting and representation. This is why a lot of people advocate for vote. Local elections, you need to know who you're voting for. A lot of people look at the local elections as a they're not as invested, and not the majority of people. For example, this last presidential election in the United States, a lot of people were invested. Well, great, that's awesome. Here. The Senate races, the congressmen, the U.S. congressmen, yeah, everybody was invested in these races. But what about the local school board, or the sheriff, or judges, and all of these factors of the actual local governments? And what does it do for you? Well, it does a lot for you. I mean, local judges alone, they will be fair or not fair, depending, right? So keep that in mind as well as you look to change policy and vote for, and use your vote wisely in the local elections. Still pay attention to your state and federal elections for sure, but your county and your city, yeah, they're really important. They're more important than a lot of people would have you believe. Whether that's for good or ill, I'm not sure if that's intentionally evil or not. All right, what else do we have here? There we go. I'm just gonna put it here. That is a lot of iron. That is great. Loving that yield from the blessing. And I don't have enough coal to smelt this down to the iron ingot, or the wrought iron ingots that I need. That's all right though. I'd rather have an abundance than not enough. I got some, but it's not. Look at all that chainmail. I didn't want to throw it away. I did a lot of armor smithing the other day. Repair the stuff. Put it back. There. What is this? Golden porridge? I don't know anything that really does piercing. Oh, let's go get some gold. Yeah, that's what we can do. I gotta test this out. It's a one-handed spear? It's a two-handed spear. And this is a two-handed spear. Oh, and I bought the two-handed spears? Damn. Thought I bought a one-handed spear. Two-handed. I guess I didn't. That kind of stinks. I'm okay with it, but it's still... I'm sad. I'll use my sword. I need to do that anyway. To move that up. That one's gonna be 6. This will be 5. And this will be R7. And I'm gonna train in two-handed, one-handed. And I'm just full up. Look at these one-handed spears that are just dying. I'll put it here. I'm thinking music. Put that there. I'm just getting cool. I don't care about anything else, honestly. Alright. Let's change my list. Because I'm going to see what differences they made on the PvE side. And I don't want to get blindsided. Alright. Let's see if that works. I gotta move my spell. It's pacify. It doesn't really do much for me. Mesmerize is a more powerful spell in my opinion because it just dumbfounds your opponent. Oh, I was looking for equipment. Oh, this is the other way you can get the grace. Let's make sure everything is there. I have my blunt is not as high. Huh. Got a little fire, got a little poison. Good. Alright. Let's see what raisin does for me. Kinda curious. Damn it, regen. Out the yang. I'll be using sausage, blackberry syrup. Oh, so my health regen is actually 1 second. Well, let's use it. Alright, we are going to the Stonelands again. Hey, shoo! Pardon me. Better get away from the mic. Fast one. Sneezing in your ear. Oh. Ah, I'm glad I looked. I always forget my arrows. Yeah, I put the bow there. I always forget my arrows. Phew! Oh boy. Let's see. Damn, just put 200 in there. Get moving here. Alright. So there's no grace for this. And I'm not gathering anything, so I'm not going to use grace. Maybe I'll use it tomorrow for gathering some plants. I'll go up to the Pale Lands. Or maybe I'll hunt. And see what the yield is for the grace on hunting. But in order to afford grace, I need to kill PvEs. And Inquisitors. They are, way to go. Alright. So we had grassroots movements, right? We have voting and representation, which is basically in voting, right? Legal challenges and advocacy is the last, last sort of aspect into trying to change laws, right? So what does that mean? Well, if you take legal action to challenge unfair laws, right, you need this thing called standing. So standing's a big deal in legal proceedings. So definitely talk to a lawyer. The problem with challenging laws is usually to challenge the law, you need standing, which means you broke the law. There are other ways to challenge laws, so I'm not going to say that's the advocacy is just that, you have somebody who knew somebody. Good old boy network, right? Hey, I knew somebody who knows somebody. Can you grab the ear of this representative or this city councilman and say, hey, why are we doing no left turns on this road? Why did you guys decide that? And if they say, well, because of accidents, I'm gonna be like, and that's not your. People can take the chance, right? So you can argue it with your council. You can't do that with your U.S. senator or even your state senator or state congressman. I'll just say it that way because we have the house, the state houses, and the state senates. So the state congress is not exactly going to be the best way of communicating. Let's see. Yeah, that's basically it for the legal system. legal systems and law really need to be adjusted. I think sundowning, I think it's called sundowning, sunsetting the law. I think that's absolutely imperative that you do that. What I don't want to do is drag another person over. I can't believe I'm dodge. Freaking great. I'll take it. Yeah, I totally took that one. That rear is really difficult. Like I said, I don't care about anything else but the gold here. These bowmen suck. Look at that. He actually got through 1 point of damage. There we go. I don't want the shield to take a damage every time, because my shield will go away quickly. See my health going up? That's the combination of food, so I'm okay with that. And the shield, every time you get hit, the shield actually takes impact, which takes stamina. So far, they're not, the PvEs are not acting different. Now, the other guy can. I don't know why I didn't block that. Sure, I walked right into that. Did you see that combination? That was all my fault. All my fault. All right. So, Pax Dei really doesn't have justice. I mean, I think they called these Justicars before, but they're Inquisitors, right? They're a band of occupiers. And I will have none of it in my land. Yeah, if he keeps coming at me, I'm gonna... I don't want my shield to take damage. That's the big one. Alright. So Pax Dei doesn't have a legal system or code, right? So how the big thing you can do here is generate guild rules in resolving conflicts or disputes. Have something up front, you know, a verbal social contract, an agreement, and that way, when those do arise, and it's a when, it's not an if. Really? There we go. Those guys are so tough. I guess because at range kind of sucks. I knew that one was gonna hit me. I was being an idiot. Notice how I was drawing this one guy out. He wants to come back. How's he getting me? Golly. Holy crap, man. That was just horribly executed by me. Alright. Let's heal up first. You really want on Pax Day, you really want to understand the rules of the game, right? The rules of the clan, the rules of the region, the social contracts, right? Worst case scenario, you just play this game alone. And I can tell you one thing, this game alone is not a good thing, because you're not going to be able to kill some of the things that you need to. I can't believe I wasn't hit with that. Those guys are pretty tough. I'm trying to back up, but he's coming at me. I'm hoping. Let's check out something real quick. Storage 38. I need 180 more swings. Okay. If that's what it takes. I'm gonna walk through here. Alright, so I gotta pull one of these guys. They're all bowmen. There's no boatmen. Really? How am I missing him? And that's why I bring 200. I hit his foot. There we go. We can't let him go with the bow for too long. I walked right into that 21. There we go. I forgot I had that. Alright. Alright. So, what do you think about our conversations tonight, especially about law, but what do you think about the changes? Let's go with that. What do you think about the changes? I think they're pretty good. Get him before he even. Man, he's slinging it. Wow, I thought I had 180 swings. There is no way. Yeah, 919 swings to go to 40. All right, let's do it. You get him eventually. This is the worst terrain to play. I might be able to draw one guy. Let's see if I can draw one guy. Really? I thought I killed that, but I guess I didn't. That was the pause, guys. I paused, thinking, he's done. I can move on, but I'm gonna eat the next. But yeah, so that's the show for tonight. Just want to say I do have uh I do have videos out there on YouTube. Oh, I made a comedy short on YouTube as well. It's about lazy. I think everybody will enjoy it. The people who have, the 6 people who have decided to join me on that adventure, seem to enjoy it. So I highly recommend it. I think you should definitely go out there and enjoy. 2 music videos are out there, and of course, subscribe to this channel, and you'll get everything that I post. I will be putting out a new music video. I'm working on it. It's a little bit more lighthearted. It's a funky groove through life. I think it'll be all right. What else do I got? Like, subscribe, share the show with your friends. Come back. I know it's a long time in the queue, but I am DCalciano1 at YouTube. I am Calciano Daniel 1 at X, and I'm Daniel Calciano on LinkedIn. Got plenty of articles over there for leadership and such. I highly advise you went over and take it over. So I haven't formed the next episode's topics yet, but if you have any suggestions, put them in the comment section or in the chat. Until then, remember, we are in control of our own destinies. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 on YouTube. I'll see what I could do about going to Rumble as well. And I'm not sure about Twitch. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. Anyway, at any rate, I'll let you guys go. Be kind to everybody. Be safe, everybody. And we will talk to you in the morrow. Have a good night. Have a good day, wherever you are.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive. In a world where the strong survive, I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.